Well, howdy there. Last night, I watched Cedar Rapids, and I enjoyed it. This is the second time I've seen it. Saw it in the theater, and again, rented it, watched it last night, thoroughly enjoyed it. Have no problems giving it an 8. Honestly, I think this is the kind of movie that will be a cult classic. I think it will only get better as you watch it. In fact, I'm like already thinking about watching this in a year and like really enjoying it even more. Again, solid 8, but it's that kind of movie where I just feel it will grow on me. So I think it might be a 9. You know, give it some time, but I think it might be a 9 because I think it's hilarious. I think it's every bit as funny as, say, Office Space or Idiocracy. It kind of had that Mike Judge feel. I don't know why, it just kind of did, probably because it was about real people. But I really, really liked it. I think it's a really funny movie. And I am bummed because I've, like, had 2 conversations, and I've almost been afraid to express my opinion on the film because no one seems to like it. And I don't get it. You know, I don't get that. But I have ran into 2 people, separate occasions, who did not care for the film at all. And I don't know what their problem is. I really don't. I think it's hilarious. Okay. It's about Ed Helms, as you can tell. I don't really appreciate the marketing for this because it didn't make much money at all in the theater. And I don't think it's made much money on DVD. And I don't get, you know, why they went for that, you know, 40-year-old Virgin ripoff in terms of advertising. I mean, it's an ensemble movie. I mean, sure, Ed Helms is the main character, but, I mean, it's an ensemble. And why they don't feature that ensemble, I'm not sure. Just interesting. I mean, it makes you pretty much think if someone's not an Ed Helms fan or doesn't know, at least know who Ed Helms is, they're not going to watch this movie, simply, you know, based on the box. Anyway, it's about the Ed Helms character as an insurance salesman in a small town, and I believe, what did he say, Ohio? His predecessor is a hotshot insurance salesman, and at the national conference every year in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, he wins a prestigious award. He dies suddenly. The boss of the company sends Ed Helms in his stead to win the prestigious 2 Diamond Award. So it's basically his adventures at the annual convention, the insurance convention in Cedar Rapids. He's never really been outside his hometown. He's very sheltered. He's very naive. He's very young, very green. And so he's amazed by the big city. And at the, you know, while at the conference he meets his roommates. They get into all sorts of crazy adventures. And, you know, he discovers who he is, basically. It's a film about self-discovery. Okay. It stars Ed Helms, John C. Reilly, Anne Heche, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., and Sigourney Weaver. I also remember Tom Lennon. He's very memorable in the film. Stephen Root, one of my idols, very memorable in the film. Who else is in there? I think that's about it. Almost the reason you watch this movie. I mean, he practically carries the movie. This is a tour de force performance from John C. Reilly. I'm a big John C. Reilly fan. He almost has like this cult following. He's tremendous here. I honestly think this is one of his best performances. I mean, when I think of John C. Reilly, I think, well, honestly, what made me, I was about to say fall in love with him. I don't know, what made me be like a huge, unquestionable fan of John C. Reilly was Chicago. The musical, yes, the musical. I didn't care so much for the film, particularly because I couldn't stand Richard Gere in it. But John C. Reilly has just an amazing performance in the film. Honestly, I thought it was heartbreaking. I never looked at him like that, and after he did that, I mean, it just changed my perspective of him, and I've been a huge fan ever since. But he's obviously a tremendous actor. Been working a long time. I think he kind of rose to fame a little bit with the works of Paul Thomas Anderson. He was in Paul Thomas Anderson's debut film, Heart 8. He's practically just one of the only two people in that movie. And then Boogie Nights, of course, got him like way more recognition. He's a great actor, but again, the performance here rates with Chicago, Heart 8, any of his performances. This is one of his best, a tour de force. All of the acting is very good. A lot of character actors, a lot of nuance. Stephen Root is one of my favorites, and I watch his eyes, I watch his eyebrows, and that's all I need to do, and he makes me laugh. He's always solid, and he's in this very briefly, and he plays an asshole, but he's really good. Hilarious. There's a lot of subtle humor in the film. Okay. Written by Phil Johnston, not familiar with that name. Directed by Miguel Arteta. I do know that name. I can't tell you what he's done. It's all been like small independent films. I'm not really sure that he's done a straight-up comedy before, but I do know that name. The other name I want to mention, well, one, Ed Helms executive produced this, which is interesting. Maybe that had to do with the box, I don't know. But Ed Helms was the executive producer, which is interesting. And one of the producers I want to mention, and it definitely has his feel to it, is Alexander Payne, the tremendous director of Election, Sideways. What else did he do? About Schmidt, the upcoming, what is it, Descendants? He's fantastic. He's one of my favorite working filmmakers. He is a producer on this. Again, it has that Alexander Payne feel, that darkly comic, dealing with things in life that are tough to deal with humor and grace. So, I mean, it's very, very good. The only thing I didn't like about it, really this is just totally me, just a pet peeve or nitpicking, or I don't know what you want to call it, but the makeup. The makeup in the movie takes me out of the movie. Maybe they just could have spent a little bit more money. Yeah, I don't know whether I should blame the makeup or the lighting, or I'm not sure. But in most of the scenes, many of the scenes, I mean, they are obviously wearing tons of makeup. Especially John C. Reilly. And it really just kind of took me out of it. It's almost like I wish, at least for like the John C. Reilly character, that they had written something into the script explaining his makeup. It really took me out of it. It was just like, why would he be wearing makeup, at the insurance conference? I don't know. It just really just kind of took me out of it, and therefore irritated me. So it was like, again, I'm not sure whether it's lighting or makeup, but really bugged me. Really bugged me. You can really tell everyone's wearing makeup. What I really enjoyed about it is, like, it perfectly captures, well, it's just this warm feeling throughout. You know, just, it kind of makes you feel like you're hanging out with your best friends. It does a great job of capturing that feeling of a drunken night out on the town with your friends. It's just fun and familiar. I don't know really how that's accomplished, but I guess that's the screenplay. But it had that, it was very easy to imagine doing the same things with my best friends. And also, I thought pretty much all of the movie takes place in a hotel in Cedar Rapids, and it really captures that feeling of being in a hotel. That, honestly, it's one of my favorite things, is going to a hotel. I don't get to go to hotels much, but I love going to hotels. And when I was a kid, I even more so loved going to hotels and running around, playing tag, and going to the pool, and getting lost, and whatever. It perfectly captures what it's like to be in a hotel for an extended, stay. And, that made me happy. So, I mean, this film does affect me on, personal levels. But really, I think it's hilarious. I think it will get better in time. I think you'll notice more and more. You'll laugh more and more as you watch it. Just a really good movie. And I'm the only person I know who likes it, which is weird to me. Again, I think in 10 years this will be as much as a cult classic as Office Space. I easily think that. Very vulgar, earns its R rating through, vulgarity, basically, and drug use. There's extensive drug use and vulgarity. No nudity, kind of, but Anne Heche is always down to get nude, which, God bless her. She's good here, she's hot, I'm a big fan of Anne Heche. But really, John C. Reilly steals the show. He's fantastic. He's very quotable. The film is very quotable. Very well written, very intelligent, very heartfelt, very real. I don't really know what else to say. I really hope you see it, and I hope you agree with me. If not, tell me why not. But that's it. I think I said pretty much everything I need to say. So, yeah. That's Cedar Rapids. Really enjoyed it. I'll go ahead and stick with an 8. But already I'm thinking I should give it a 9. And already I'm thinking about, I can't wait to, to see this on cable one day on one of the movie channels and sit down and watch it and absolutely loving it. Because I think that's the potential for it. And I think that's what's going to happen. So there you go. Cedar Rapids, it's an 8. Thanks.